Now, in the chromosome, we have seen that when we stain a chromosome, we get different. Some regions are extremely darkly stained and some regions are lightly stained. Now, the region which is tightly packed, obviously that region is going to take more stain. So what happens, the part which is tightly is taking more stain is known as heterochromatin. Okay, and it is more densely packed. So heterochromatin. So what happens here? Heterochromatin, the chromatin that is more densely packed and stains dark is known as heterochromatin. And the other, so it stains more because it is densely packed. Whereas the other is euchromatin. It is the part of the chromosome which stains less. Why? Because it is loosely packed. So these are some of the terms often asked. What is the difference between euchromatin and heterochromatin? Okay, and in your NCERT book also it is written a typical nucleosome contains 200 base pairs of the DNA helix. So I would like to correct myself here. The nucleosome that we had drawn in this way, here it consists of around 146 base pairs, and in this region, the linker DNA, there is around 60 base pairs. Okay, so this is the linker part and this is the core part. So the nucleosome is actually made up of the core plus the linker. So the core consists of around 146 base pairs and the linker is made up of 60 base pairs. So together this comes around nearly 200 base pairs. Okay, approximately 200 base pairs, and this structure is known as nucleosome in eukaryotic cells. Now coming to our next topic, that is, we have discussed about the 3 types of RNA. Mendel had given us some idea regarding the chromosome. Obviously he did not have any idea regarding what is inside a nucleus, or because of the technical development did not occur during that time. What was later found that so there was a huge doubt regarding what is the genetic material, what is it actually made up of. So there were 3 possibilities. One was a protein, it could be a protein, it could be a DNA or RNA. Now work was being done extensively to find out what is the genetic material. Now around at this time, what happened, Frederick Griffith, he performed an experiment that is on mice. So we are talking about Griffith's experiment. Griffith's experiment on mice, and the organism, that is the microorganism that he used, was Streptococcus pneumoniae. Streptococcus pneumoniae. Now this bacteria, this is a bacteria. This bacteria is responsible for causing pneumonia in the mice. And this Streptococcus pneumoniae, this bacteria, was found to be of 2 strains. One was the S, that is the smooth strain, and the other one was the R strain. R, that is the rough strain. So you can say there are 2 types of bacteria. Now what is this? Why is it smooth? It is smooth because the surface, there is a protein which is responsible, a mucus covering is there on the bacteria, which is actually making this a virulent. So S strain is the virulent. It is causing the pneumonia. Whereas the rough strain, because of the lack of, it lacks the mucus or a polysaccharide coating, this strain is non-virulent. Non-virulent. Is this clear? So he observed that Streptococcus pneumoniae, there are two strains. One is the S strain and the other is the rough strain. Now he experimented that when S strain was put in the body of the mice, since this is virulent, means it can show the effect, it can cause pneumonia, so the mice will obviously die. Okay. So what was observed, that in the first case, S strain was injected into the mice. What was the result? Result was the mice died. Okay. Then the second case, what he did, R strain was injected into the mice. The mice survived, or rather it lived. It survived. That means the mice did not show any signs of pneumonia. In the third experiment, what he did, he again took the S strain. He heat killed S strain. And he injected it into the mice. What will happen? Since the living strain was killed using heat, so what happens? The mice, obviously it survived. Now the most important observation that he had seen was in the fourth experiment that he did with heat killed S strain plus R strain. Now see, heat killed, obviously it cannot cause, because we have already seen it cannot cause the pneumonia, so the mice was survived. R strain, as it is non-virulent, it cannot cause. So this also, there is no chance of the mice being or the mice dying because of pneumonia. But his observation was completely different. He saw that the mice died. The mice should have survived. So he thought, or he came to the conclusion. What was the conclusion? He came to the conclusion that something must have transferred from the heat killed S strain to the R strain, and it made this R strain virulent. Virulent means it made it, or rather there was formation of that coat, the mucus coat, which made it virulent and caused pneumonia in the mice. So what was the observation? Conclusion: something transformed R strain, the R strain, to S strain. He was not at all sure what is that something. He felt that something must have passed from the heat killed to the R strain. Because what will happen? This is also alive. This was alive, whereas this was heat killed. But still something had passed to the life, that is R strain, which became virulent. Something transformed from R strain to S strain and made it virulent. Is it clear? To cause the disease. Now Griffith was unable to give what was that substance which had actually moved to the other one. After this, after 16 years, Avery, MacLeod and McCarthy, 3 scientists, they together performed an experiment which proved that DNA is the genetic material. I am writing it here. After this experiment, after 16 years, who were the scientists? Avery, MacLeod and McCarthy. They had 3 things in their mind. It could be either DNA, RNA or a protein. They had the option of DNA or RNA or a protein which was responsible for this transformation. Now, this experiment is also known as transforming principle. Okay, this I did not mention here. Now I am mentioning it is also known as transforming principle. Often what happens, to confuse students, they use this term and ask about the experiment instead of giving the name of the scientist. So after 16 years, these scientists, they started finding out whether DNA is a genetic material, RNA is a genetic material or the protein which was actually passing from the heat kill to the R strain. What they found out that in tissue, in the dead mice tissue, they saw that there is something which was responsible. And what was that something? They saw something was responsible. Now, in order to understand, what did they first tried to remove the protein from the cells. That is, they used proteases. So first thing they used was protease. If you use protease, then obviously a cell, if a tissue, in the dead tissue, if you remove the protease, what will happen? Or from the mice, if you remove the protease and you insert these two, so naturally what happens? The cell again died. So naturally protein was not protease, it removed or digested protein. Result was what? The mice died. Next, they used RNAs. So RNA was removed. So it digested RNA. What was the result? The mice again died of pneumonia. Last thing what they did was they applied, that is, DNAs was used. So DNA was removed from the cells. And what was the result? The result was the mice survived. So this is very, very important. Ultimately, they got a result that DNA is the genetic material which is responsible for this change or which passes from one body to the other. Here we are talking about the bacteria. It is passing from the bacteria to the body of the mice. I am repeating that DNA is the genetic material. A solid proof was given after 16 years after Griffith gave us the experiment, that is the transforming principle. The three scientists, Avery, MacLeod and McCarthy, they performed various experiments. In fact, they continued this experiment only. In the last stage, what they had done, they started applying protease and the mice survived. In absence of protein also, what happened? The mice survived. In absence of RNA, the mice died, and in absence of RNA, then also the mice died. Whereas in absence of DNA, that means DNA was the one the mice had survived. So DNA was the one which had actually changed the rough strain into a virulent form. So DNA was responsible, I'm repeating, mind it carefully, DNA was responsible for the formation of the polysaccharide coat and converting the R strain into a smooth virulent form.